everyone. Welcome to the A-Level Business Studies lecture. This is Module 2 of the chapter Business Structure. Today, we're going to talk about multinational companies. We're going to talk about the benefits that a multinational company has to the host country, the drawbacks to the host country, and we're going to discuss about privatization. Let's understand what's a multinational company. A multinational company is one which operates and sells in more than one country. This means that it is important that a multinational company has its factory or its production outlet in more than one country. MNCs as they are called. Now, we need to understand why should we become an MNC, or why will a company aim to become an MNC or a multinational company. The first reason, it is closer to the market, which helps. It helps in getting lower transport cost of the finished goods. It helps because you get better market information about your consumers. It helps because you may gain consumer loyalty because you are considered as a local company there. There can be lower costs of production as well. Lower labor rates, lower rent, government grants, tax incentives for being there in the country and increasing employment. There can be access to local resources of the nation where you have set up your business. There are potential problems that MNCs also face. Now, what could they be? There could be communication skills with headquarters which may be poor. You may not be able to communicate well with your other branches and with your head office. There could be legal, cultural differences, language differences which may lead to poor understanding of the requirement of your consumers. Coordination with other plants may be difficult, and the skill level of employees employed in the multinational company may be lower, so the company may have to incur extra training costs to bring up the skills of the people there. However, there are multiple benefits and drawbacks to a host country as well. Let us first discuss the benefits to the host country. The host country is the one where the multinational company sets up its base or its factory. The first benefit is that investment will bring in foreign currency and which will help the economy of the host country to grow. Employment opportunities will be created, training will be given to people to upgrade their skills, and which will improve the skills of the people surviving in the host country. Local firms will benefit because they will be the raw material suppliers to MNCs as well, so it will help them to increase their business. Local firms will be forced to improve the quality of their goods to match the quality of the goods of these MNCs, and also be forced to give better pricing because they need to match up to the pricing that these larger companies are going to produce in multiple batches. Tax revenues will be boosted up because the government will earn tax from these multinational companies. The management expertise will improve because these companies will bring in their skilled workers and train the people in the host country. The total output of the economy will rise, and thereby there will be an increase in the GDP of the country. However, there are multiple drawbacks as well to the host country. Exploitation of local workforce could be there. In a country where there are not strong labor laws, you could see that they may force the workers to work for longer hours, not give them healthy and safe conditions to work in, and pay them lower wages as well. Pollution levels may be higher, which will damage the environment of the host country. The local competing firms will be squeezed out because of the immense competition that these MNCs will provide, because of the lower pricing and the multiple product variations that they will bring in with them. Western culture may influence the traditional home culture, and the people may feel that the culture has taken over their values and their beliefs and may not like it. Profits will be sent back to the home country eventually, which may affect the economy of the host country. Extensive depletion of limited natural resources will be a factor which needs to be taken into consideration when considering the setting up of a multinational company. Let's understand what is privatization. Privatization means selling state-owned or state-controlled businesses to investors in the public sector. There are arguments in favor of privatization, there are arguments against privatization. We will first discuss the arguments in favor of privatization. The profit motive in the private sector leads to efficiency then when it was supported by subsidies being given by the government. So yes, it works. Decision making of state bodies is extremely slow and bureaucratic, which means sometimes an opportunity may be lost. Privatization believes strongly on responsibility of the managers, which provides them direct motivation and forces them to deliver results. Market forces are allowed to operate, which means failing businesses will have to die or change and successful businesses will expand. There is temptation for the government to run state industries for political reasons, influencing the country. Certain decisions may not be taken for commercial reasons, however beneficial they might be. So yes, privatization helps. The sale of the enterprises which can be handed over to the private sector and the money that is derived from there may be used for other projects which need to be run by the government, and private businesses will access private capital, which leads to greater investment, which will lead to better development. However, there are multiple drawbacks or multiple arguments which are put against privatization as well. The first being the state should take decisions of the essential industries because they are the ones that affect the people. When handed over to the private sector, these decisions or these services may be put off or may be shut down when market forces take over, but the state may decide to run them for the benefit of the people. When competing with private businesses, it will be much more difficult to achieve a coherent and a coordinated policy for the benefit of the country. And yes, people might be exploited to a certain extent. Through state-owned ownership, the industry can be made accountable straight to the government, which can be the accountability of the parliament and the ministers directly. Many strategic industries can be operated on private monopolies, and if they are handed over to the private sector, it might be that the consumers may have to pay higher prices. Breaking up of nationalized industries perhaps into several competing units will cut down the opportunities of the economies of scale that are available to larger industries. However, all in all, there are multiple arguments that are in favor and against privatization. But yes, privatization does have an edge when it leads to efficiency, and it can make a loss-making unit turn into a profitable one. So sometimes the government does take decisions of partly holding a share and giving the running of the business to the private sector, but yet they still are the owners and still control and monitor the running of it. Thank you.